What's up, YouTube? Spook Show Lucky here. As you saw in the title, I have a comic book haul. I went to Shreveport with some buddies last night. We ended up getting up this morning, kind of going around, checking out the place, and we found this place called Excalibur Comics in Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a really cool store, really nicely laid out. There's not a lot of chances where I get to go and find horror comics specifically. I do look for them online and things like that, but around here we don't have any comic book stores, so that is something that I kind of wanted to bulk up in my collection. You know, I do a lot of the sideshow collectibles, a lot of the pops, just characters and figures and busts and things like that. But one of the things I really wanted to amp up on was comics, because some of these get to be more rare, especially if you get them CGC graded. So I looked for a few there, and I was just kind of seeing what I could find, and I came out with a lot. So I'm going to try to do quick, and I will show you my favorite pieces. So let's just jump right on into it, and let's get to showing you. So the first thing I have up is a couple Leatherface comics. Now, I know I've talked to you guys before, told you Leatherface is my favorite character, and that is tried and true. So finding these was really cool. I paid $8.99 for this one. I looked it up. It's worth about $15, something like that. So it is worth a little more than I paid. I found this Leatherface. Now, these are all North Star. Now, this one right here is worth about $50. I paid $8.99 for it as well. Found out that it's worth about $50, which is really cool. So I'm probably going to take and try to get that one and this one graded. Now, here's the next one. Jason versus Leatherface. I paid $4.99 for this one, and it is worth about $50. So that was a real cool find. And look at the cover of this. The dinner table with the family. And you got Jason sitting at the table. This is super cool, just the artwork on it alone. The next one I found was the official movie adaptation, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This actually glows in the dark, which is pretty neat. I paid $4.99 for this. It's worth about 10, 15 bucks, something like that. Most of these are from the 90s. The next stuff I picked up was a lot of Army of Darkness and a lot of Ash stuff. So I got a few Army of Darkness pieces. And I don't know much about their comics. I haven't been able to read any of these comics as far as the Army of Darkness stuff. So I kind of just grabbed these. They had tons of these. So I grabbed these based on the artworks. And they were about $5 a piece. I haven't gone through and looked any of them up and see if I got any like scores on anything or if anything was a lot, worth a lot more. Now these are supposed to be variants. So check this out. This is Army of Darkness versus Xena. So I really like the black and gray artwork on these, so I picked up a few of those. I'm actually going to check these out to see the values. Ashes to Ashes here. This has actually one of the still shots from the movie. So I thought that was kind of cool, it looked good framed or whatever. Even if it's not worth that much, I can at least go through and give some of these a read. Love the artwork here with the barrel going into the skull. Super cool. Next one, this is versus Reanimator. So this whole Army of Darkness versus Reanimator is a series. I was able to pick up a few of those. I'm trying to keep these glares off. Let's see, we're kind of getting there. Evil Dead 2, Revenge of Evil Ed. So that one's a pretty cool little cover. Here's the couple more of the black and white. I really like these covers with the black and whites. Those are neat. Here's another variant. Black and white. Now, I am going to check these out and see, and I love the reflections in the chainsaws. Like, those are some of my favorite things when it has the reflection. I actually have an Ash tattoo that I got done on me, and it's just a chainsaw with Deadite Ash as the reflection. So it's pretty neat. Evil Dead 2, Revenge of the Martians. And then I got Grim Tales of Terror, #1, Volume 4. I've never read these comics, so if you guys know anything about Grim Tales of Terror, drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Don't know anything about them. I just really liked the cover. Like, it looked good. And me doing the haunted house this year, I'm doing a school theme, so I was like, well, maybe I can read in here and get some kind of inspiration somewhere. You never know. Little goofy things like that, you can pull up tons of inspiration. So then I got a few kind of collector item pieces of some Spawn comics. Now, Spawn next to Leatherface, and Spawn isn't very horror. I guess he's more of an anti-hero kind of superhero in that franchise, so I wouldn't consider him horror, but Spawn is one of my favorite characters. And I love the Crow, And Spawn almost has that same kind of backstory, and I just like everything about it, the whole vindication and coming back, and you know. So these are some of the more sought after covers for Spawn. I know there's some that I didn't get, but here we go with the Violator in full form. And some of these are first issues for character introductions. So there was reasons I picked them up, and I actually had two of my buddies that were with me. They're really big into comics, and they know a lot more about comics than me. So they kind of actually flipped through most of these Spawn ones. It was like, hey, get this one for this reason, this one for this reason. You know, there was different reasons. I love this cover, and the guy actually had this one on the wall with the CGC grade. This is $4.99 that I bought it for, but he had a graded CGC, and he was selling it for like $50. And CGC grading cost about $30 when you get it done. So I thought it'd be cool to maybe try to take some of these to conventions, get them signed off on, something like that, and then have them CGC graded as well, and put in the frames. And if you're not familiar with CGC grading, I'm about to show you what I'm talking about. There's another one where he's just kind of hanging. I love the artwork on these. Most of these were from $2.99 to $4.99. So that's all the comics that I got today. Now, the CGC, here's one, for instance, that I did get. I've already had this one. It's been in my collection, but this is a Friday the 13th. Number one is 9.4 grade. So they actually grade the condition of the comic itself. They put it in a real hard plastic container, which is really cool. Now, this one is gold, which means that it was signed. And this one's actually been signed by Adrian King, Kane Hodder, and Tom Savini. And they were signed on 9/27 of 09. So the CGC actually witnesses the grading. They come back, they give you a scale of how good condition is in, and 9.8 is like the highest you can get. So this one's actually in really good condition. I have another graded comic somewhere, and it's a Friday the 13th as well, but these are good graded conditions. And you see they have where he signs it 7, 8, 9, and 10, or X. And then you got Tom Savini right above the machete, and then Adrian King over here in the signature. So this is when you get one CGC graded, and they just look so much better when you display them. And they do have frames, and I've put some in frames, but I really try to CGC grade most of the stuff that I can get. But it is kind of pricey, especially when you start talking about doing a stack of comics this big. So we won't do every one, but the ones that are worth more, we'll try to, you know, take them out, get them CGC graded. But guys, let me know which one you thought was the best find. Let me know what you liked the best out of here. And if you have any information on any of these that I got, or there's something I should be getting, please drop a comment below. Let me know. Let me know. I'm just kind of getting into the comics, so we're going to see where it goes, and hopefully we'll get some cool stuff. But I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you stay tuned for more videos in the future. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Later.